Welcome back to Logic App's automation series. In the last episode, we talked about workflows, and in this episode, we are going to make them intelligent. Simple ways in which you can bring in intelligence to your workflows in Logic App's automation. And today, I'm going to start with the simplest of those options, and in the subsequent episodes, we will touch upon each option one by one. I want to spend a minute to talk about how workflows and agents complement each other. Each one of them brings something that the other one doesn't, specifically when it comes to AI automation. An agent brings reasoning and judgment. It can understand rules that are described in natural language and can apply them to situations that aren't black and white. An agent on its own can accomplish provided goals and tasks when there is a person sitting on the other side of it. The moment you want the agent to run on its own or at a schedule or respond to a certain event, then you need a workflow for it. Workflows bring two things that are very important for AI automation. The first one is determinism. While agents can handle ambiguity very well, most real world problems need a combination of predictability and problem solving. And workflows bring the predictability part to the solution. The second thing that workflows bring is automation. Workflows can run on its own, triggered by events or schedule, without requiring any human to sit on the other side to run it. And this is important because the real power of AI can only be realized through automation. And this can only happen when you bring workflows and agents together. So, this is our first episode on agents, and we are going to start with workflow agents in Logic Apps automation. So, my intent is that by the end of this episode, you should have a pretty good idea around what workflow agents are, when to use them, and what are they good for. So, workflow agent in Logic Apps is like any other action that you just drop in your workflow along with other deterministic steps. If you have already used Logic Apps, this is the agent loop action that we introduced to bring reasoning into the workflows. To set it up, you basically provide three things: the model for the reasoning, the system instructions to provide the goal and the desired outcomes to the agent, and then tools so that the agent can accomplish the provided goals with the help of tools. So, your AI agent is the special step in your workflow, a step that has the ability to think and take actions. Now, how it works is that the AI agent takes your model and tools and the goals that you have provided via system instructions, and then it goes through a cycle of reasoning, taking action until the provided goals have been met. Because all of this runs inside the workflow, you have full observability and traceability into every single step and every decision that the agent makes in each iteration of this loop. So it comes down to when to use the workflow agents. Workflow agent is extremely good at couple of patterns, some of which you are seeing on this slide. For example, reasoning, summarization, if you have a ticket and you want to do some kind of classification, or you want to do extraction and reasoning on the documents and the data. If you want to draft any content, workflow agents are again really good at that. So, for all the kind of use cases where you're primarily leveraging models and AI for reasoning, for things like categorization, content generation, workflow agents are a great option. Now, let's take a look at a real example to see how you can take advantage of workflow agents to solve real world problems. So, what I have here is an e commerce website that sells art supplies. I'm going to use AI agent for sentiment analysis of the reviews and also for drafting response back to the customers who have provided negative sentiment in the reviews. So, let's take a look at this stuff in action. Here is my website called Zava to sell art related products, and there are a variety of products listed here, and customers can also give reviews on the products. So, as the website owner, I want to address customers' concerns right away. And that's why in this demo, we are going to build an agent that can analyze the sentiment of a review. And if it's negative, then generate a response for it. And it should get human approval before sending the response. And to make this process autonomous, I'll put that agent in a workflow that responds to a new event, that responds to a new review event when it's submitted from the website. So let's create the workflow first. If you choose to start with an empty workflow, you have a quick way to add an agent in the Logic Apps Designer. There you can choose the workflow agent, and if you already have a connection, you can use that or create a new connection to Foundry and to so that you can bring your models. In the AI model list, you can choose whatever model fits your use case and then provide system message, which are the instructions to the agent. Optionally, you can also provide user message and right from here also enable built-in tools and other external tools for your agent. Alternately, you can also add an agent by selecting on the plus sign that would open the side panel which has all the actions, and over there you can select the AI agent and choose workflow agent from there. I could start with an empty workflow, but let's check if there is a template for it. So here is the gallery of templates, and I do see one which does product review sentiment analysis and respond and uses human in the loop. So this looks like the right one for the use case I have in mind. So I'll go ahead and select this template. And here I can see more description about the template as well as the connectors and tools that this is going to use. So I'll go with the default name and select use template. All right, so here is the workflow that gets generated. So first, let's go ahead and update the agent here. I will use a more latest model. And then here in the system prompt, I need to customize them a little bit for my use case. So I'll go ahead and change the name and provide my company name here. And then you can see that the instructions are all about analyzing the review. And then here in the user instructions, we provide the input review. So in the template, it has a hard coded input, but I want to provide what we receive from the website here. All right. So with that, I think the agent looks good, and now let's update the tool. The tool is using the test data. So the first step we do is we update the connection by creating a new connection. So here we complete the authentication process to Microsoft Teams. And after the connection is created, I'll go ahead and update the parameters. The message body looks good because that's the adaptive card we want. But I will provide my specific team and channel where I want to send this message for human approval. And then we'll switch the toggle off for test data so that it is not running on test data anymore. We do the same thing for trigger as well. Finally, I'm going to delete the step which provides the sample reviews because the review is coming in from my website. And now I'll go ahead and publish this. After this template is published, a REST endpoint is generated. I'm going to copy this REST endpoint, and this is the endpoint which I will invoke from my website when a review is submitted. So I am copying this endpoint, and then I'm going to go ahead and update my website. So here I am in the website after updating it to invoke the endpoint of the workflow I created. Let's go ahead and pick a product and provide a review. So here we'll go with a review rating that's lower so that our human in the loop gets invoked. The review has been published, and here back in the Logic app runs, we can see that the run has been triggered after the review submission. And the agent now is analyzing that review. It's going to wait because there is a human in the loop step here. And here in Teams, I have received the details of that review as well as the drafted response which the agent has drafted to send to the customer. So here I approve that because it looks good. And at this point, my workflow is completed with the full, and here in the agent output, I can see the analysis from the agent as well as in the metadata. There is also token usage that's provided. So now let's go ahead and extend this workflow so that we can send the response back to the customer. So here I'm going to add a tool and use outlook.com send email action to send the response back. When you add a tool, you have to create a connection. And here we are going ahead and creating the connection to that email account. All right, so once the connection is created, we configure the parameters. For the sender, for the email ID, I'm going to provide that from the information that we received for the from the information that we got about the customer. So here in the trigger body, I have all the details of about the customer name and email ID. So that's what I'm going to use. And notice that I'm using JavaScript here. So all I have to do is select the trigger body and then I can navigate to the object and the properties inside it. And so here I'm picking sender object and then email of the sender as the property. So no need to write the no need to write those expressions anymore that you write in workflow definition language. For the subject, I'm going to use an agent parameter. So this is the ability in logic apps where you can easily specify when a parameter comes through the agent. We do the same thing for body as well, where we'll let the agent provide the body of the email. And since this is a tool, we can configure the tool name and description as well so that it's intuitive for the agent to pick the right tool. All right, so we are now done. This looks ready, and now we'll again go ahead and publish this workflow. All right, so the workflow has been published, and now we actually need to do one more thing that I forgot. We need to update the instructions, the agent instructions, so that the agent can send the email if the response has been approved by the human reviewer. Now, after this, we can go back to our site and submit another review, which should again trigger the human in the loop. So we are providing a poor rating here and then publish this review. All right, so we have another run here that has been kicked off just like before. And now the agent is again analyzing that review. I did approve that. So now you can see that the whole processing is complete and the send email tool was invoked as well. So the agent did all the processing, got the review, and then sent the email. And this is what that email looks like that was created by the agent and approved by the human analyst. So you just saw how we improved customer service via a fully automated workflow, leveraging AI capabilities for sentiment analysis of the reviews and for drafting response to the customer. And we did all this with human guardrails. So let's just quickly recap. Workflow Agent is a great option for creating AI automations where agents are driven by configurations such as prompts and instructions. And these are great for things like classification, summarization, extracting details, making decisions, drafting content, and so on. It is also the simplest place to start, and honestly, it's the most useful one to learn first, especially if you're just starting on your AI journey. Coming up in the series, we are going to drill into agents further. We'll look at agents that can access code repositories and actually write and run code all in an isolated environment. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.